Right.
The future is going to extend out up until the day that you die, and the now is just for now. And even 130 hours is just 130 hours.
That's right.
And you get to look back, and do you look back with pride and glory, or do you look back with shame and guilt?
That's it. That's the 1 second. You just summarized it right there. And most people fail those 1 seconds. And then that 1 second leads to 20 years, 30 years, 40 years of fuck. I have people who have been through training with me, Ranger School, SEAL training, Air Force training, and I get calls from them today, and they have great lives. And all they talk about is how they failed in that one moment. And they can't even enjoy their life now because they're now warm. They're now warm. There's no more suffering. There's no more suffering for me either. And we're in the same boat now. But you're suffering. So we're not suffering, but you're thinking about what you could have been. I am exactly what I should have been. And that's where people start to lose it. Because now I realize that in that 1 second. I go through all that. I know how it's going to feel because I failed so many times before. Failure is the ultimate thing, man. I failed so many times before. And that's why I don't look at failure anymore as failure. I look at it as my first, second, and third attempt. So that's what that's all about, man.
Well, I mean, you went back to go and do Moab again, the second time.
That's right.
Which is your second attempt.
That's right.
Had you banged your knee up? It was pretty bad in between the first and the second one.
It was pretty bad way before either one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been jacked up now for about 20 years.
I've seen some gnarly photos of it recently. It looks interesting.
Yeah. So all those miles I've run on this thing, it's been a lot of it's been a lot of gut checks.
So you go back, you do Moab a second time.
Yep.
And then you turn your ass into like a hamburger or something as well. So it's not just the knee, it's the ass as well now.
Yeah. So at mile 201, we have a good video of it. Matter of fact, Jennifer is like, there's some people up there. So so 201 is a spot where I was really finished in the first Moab.
So that was a waymarker, checkpoint for you the second time.
So Jennifer is extremely happy right now because I'm there.
Yes.
And she knows I'm doing well now. I'm doing good. We're going to get through this. And so she's videoing me as I'm coming up this climb on this road. And she goes, there's some people up here who want to meet you. You're doing so amazing. And I said, my ass is fucked up. You need to get the fucking Desitin cream. And it's literally for like 20 fucking miles. That, like, people don't get it, man. When you get raw like that, bro, and you're walking, because the chafing of my ass, it was hamburger meat. And I'm like, so she's all fucking happy and shit. And I just look at her, and I'm gonna put the video up on social media because but she's a fucking trooper, bro.
Hang on, so was there leakage?
Oh yeah.
That was on the video from behind?
So my shorts were absolutely raw dogged. Yeah. So when you pull them down, it's just blood. And so she goes in the bathroom because she didn't know what she was gonna see. She has the Desitin cream. She walks in there and I pull them down and spread them open. And I go, put that shit all up in there. So she goes in for the kill. And she's putting this Desitin cream all over the fucking place, man. And you know what? This is the funny thing about it. That's when you know you got a good motherfucker with you, man. When you're that raw, and you're that fucked up, and she's just like nothing. It was like saying, hey, can you like put some lotion on my back before I go lay out? That's how she was in there, man, getting in it. That's it, man.
Have you considered that might be the most traumatic event of all of the things that you've done in your life, what you asked Jennifer to do that day?
No, not at all. She did worse. So that Leadville chapter, when I talk about after I finished, and then the ultra unraveling had begun, when I lay down, so...
Oh, that was on the duvet, and you didn't know the word duvet.
Yeah, I know what the fuck duvet was.
How do you not know the word duvet?
Blanket, man.
Okay, fair enough.
Out from the streets, we call them blankets.
Okay.
Anything that you wrap up in is a fucking blanket.
Cool.
So I'm laying on the duvet, and she's all fucking like about her damn ratings, that fucking Airbnb shit. And I'm literally like, hey, I'm about to shit right
because
here.
It's not your place.
No.
Okay.
No.
Right.
Yes.
I can see why she would be concerned.
So that scene is was bad. But once again, he soldiered up.
Like a crime scene.
Yes, it was a crime scene.
So you've done all of this stuff, right? You've done the SEAL Selection Week 3 times, strapping the legs up so that you can run a Badwater ultra race, the Asperger's, everything.
Yes.
Of all of the physical pursuits that you've endured, which has been the most painful?
By far, my first 100-mile race. By far. This 2019 Moab, the one that I DNF'd but still finished, that's up there. But when you are so, I guess, you're not prepared to run 100 miles, and you take it for granted, and you didn't do any training at all, and you didn't have the right nutrition, and off a whim, like literally, like, you know what, I want to raise money for a foundation. And that's how that happened. So I don't know if you know the story or not, but basically I'm sitting there, and the lone survivor incident happened where a bunch of, some SEALs died. I want to raise money for them. I went to training with most of these guys. So I had the bright idea to raise money. I wasn't going to do a hot dog or hamburger sale. I was going to do something that people would be attracted to. So I Googled the world's toughest events. And what comes up is this race called the Badwater 135. It's a 135-mile race through Death Valley in the summertime. Now, I had no idea about ultra running. I didn't know what the fuck ultra running was. But when I saw 135 miles, I automatically assumed it was a stage race where you ran like maybe 10, 15 miles, bed down, and you got up the next morning and did it. So when I called the race director up, Chris Kosman, I'm like, hey, I would like to do this race to raise money for a foundation. He goes, have you ever run 100 miles? And I was like in a week, or like what are you talking about? He goes, no, like in 24 hours, because that's what you gotta do to qualify. And I was like, is that even possible? Like I didn't know. So anyway, he goes, no, you can't get in my race unless you qualify. And I call him up on a Wednesday, and that Saturday, and I was a bodybuilder at the time. I did cardio 20 minutes a week on the elliptical trainer every Sunday. He goes, yeah, Saturday, you're in San Diego, Saturday is a 24-hour race where you run around a 1-mile track for 24 hours. And if you can get 100 miles, I'll consider you in my race. So I'll go sign up for this race. And the first 70 miles, I'm doing pretty good. And then I hadn't sat down. I hadn't gone to the bathroom. I was drinking Mileplex and Ritz crackers. I was, eating Ritz crackers. So,
elite nutrition.
Yeah, elite, high quality nutrition. So what happens when you're that ignorant and you go out to do this race and you sit down in the chair, your body's done. So I'm sitting there, and when you sit down for the first time in over 12 hours, your body's now going through some metamorphosis. Like, go fucking home, go to a doctor, get some help. But I'm sitting there, and I have this urge to go to the bathroom. And there's a porta potty for me, that fucking wall, but I can't get up because my blood pressure's all messed up from my great nutrition that I was on. And so I can't stand up. So I look at my ex-wife, and I literally say, I'm gonna shit on myself right now. So I sit there, and I'm shitting up my back, and I'm peeing blood down my leg. And I have 30 miles to go. And I end up finding a way to get through that 30 miles. And when I got done with that race, it's the worst pain I can't even describe the pain of that last 30 miles to anybody. No one, it's very hard.
Whole body?
Whole body. So when it ended, I'm literally dizzy going up my stairs to get to my house. I have my arms wrapped around her, going up the stairs, and every flight of stairs I have to lay down because I can't stay upright for too long or I'm gonna pass out. So I finally get in the house, and when I get in the house, I'm once again on the floor. I'm in the kitchen on the floor, just laying there. I finally make it to the bathroom, into the tub. I get rolled in the tub, and she puts the water on me. I'm just laying there with the water coming on me. And what I pee out looks like Coca-Cola. And I'm laying there in the worst pain of my entire life. I'm shaking, I'm jacked up. And all I could think about was, I can't believe what I just done. Because when you get to 70 miles of a race and you felt the way I did, to me, it was humanly impossible to even think about going 30 more miles in that shape. And once you do it, what came over me when that shower hit me, and the reality hit that I just went 101 miles. And that last 31 miles was something that I can't even describe to people. And she's like, we gotta get you to the hospital. So at the time, my mom was seeing this doctor, and he was like, so she's describing my mom what I'm going through. He's like, you gotta get in the hospital now. And I just said, just shut up and let me enjoy this pain. I don't want anything to numb it. I don't want anything right now. Because what I had done was I just, in my mind, and people will take this wrong and take it as wrong as you want to, I don't really care. I had just climbed a mental wall that was amazing. And I didn't want anybody to take that pain away from me at that point, because that was all confirmation.
It seems like, I've heard you tell that story a number of times. It's amazing. Did that set the tone or the rhythm for what you wanted to try and achieve and feel again? Each time you're pushing further, there's more difficulty.
I never wanted to feel it again. But what it did was it showed me what is possible. And that's what set the new stage for me. That's when I realized, oh man, I've really been underachieving my entire life. I'm not saying that you have to go to that place. That place is a dangerous, dangerous place that...
Borderline rhabdo, heart arrhythmia.
Oh, it wasn't borderline rhabdo. It was all that. Yeah. But you don't want to go there. But it taught me what is possible. So from that 19-hour lesson, one of the biggest lessons I had in my life, it taught me like, okay, I got it, check.
Tell me about this mixtape of hate that you've made.
So what started happening is as you get bigger, as you get more successful, you open the door for people to critique every fucking thing you do. And most of the people who are critiquing you usually aren't where you are. And all their critiquing comes from people who are really at a low level of life, which is sad. But what we do, people who are on the upper level, hearing the haters at the lower level, like I said, you'll never meet a hater doing better than you. True statement. I started having fun with it. So I'll go through the comments while most people don't go through comments. I go through them, intentionally look for the bad ones. And while I'll block and delete you because the people on my page don't need that negative energy, I'll block and delete you, but I take a snapshot on my phone and I put it in the archive. So what happens is there's days where I'm like, you know what? I really don't want to do this today. And I'm like, oh, hang on. So I